Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I'll be talking about how to use Microsoft Power Automate to be able to extract information from a PDF file and copy it into an Excel file. All right, so these are the steps that we're going to do here. So let me just, we're going to extract data from an from a PDF file, right? And then we're going to paste, copy the extracted data back to an Excel file. We're going to be doing this automatically, right? So we're going to be using the tools that we're going to use are Microsoft Power. We're going to use Microsoft Excel, and we're going to use OneDrive, and we're going to use the PDF files as samples. Right, so I'm going to be showing you how to do this using RPA tool. An RPA is what is called robotic process automation tool, which is essentially a tool which allows you to automatically do repetitive tasks. So for example, if you're extracting data from a PDF file and copying it to an Excel file or to a Word file, and you're doing this for multiple documents, maybe 50, 20, 30 documents, you can use RPA tool in this case to automatically extract the details from your PDF document and paste it into an Excel file, and you simply sit back and you watch as it do all these tasks for you, and then you just look at the results and then you go on to the next task. So the biggest advantage of RPA is for you to be able to minimize your workflow activities by an average of 40-50% an hour and reduce time in hours. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so for the first step is we're going to look at how to load Power Automate from the Microsoft Office portal. Okay, so the first step is when you log into your Office 365, you should be able to see this. And you have two ways for you to be able to copy or to access Power Automate. You can do it by clicking apps here and searching for Power Automate, or you can go to here and click all apps and you should be able to search for Power Automate, which should be listed here somewhere. So Power Pages, Power Automate is right here. The easiest way to do it is simply to type in Power Automate and selecting it right here, and it's going to load up in a separate tab. I do recommend using Microsoft Edge as the browser, as it integrates directly with Office 365 and specifically your Microsoft Office applications directly. Okay, so this will load up your Power Automate. It might take a few minutes. Once you're here, go on to the left side and click on AI Hub, and that will load up the Power Automate AI application or functionality. And from there, we're going to select the different options available for us to be able to configure for our document. Okay, so let's take a look at AI capabilities. Click on that, and we're going to see some options here. We're going to click on see more AI models. Once you click on AI models, then click on extract custom information from documents. Okay, this is the document workflow which we're going to use, which allow Power Automate to be able to extract information from an invoice. Okay, so let me just show you an example of what we're going to do. I'm going to show you the PDF files which we're going to extract information from it. So let me load it up here. Just one second. Okay, so this is a sample PDF file which I'm going to show you here. And essentially what this does is this will show you the PDF document. So let me just minimize it. So this is a sample invoice, right? And it has an invoice number, it has the date, the invoice date, it has the due date, and it has some items here with the price, and it has the total amount. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to extract the invoice number and the invoice date from this document and copy it directly into an Excel document or an Excel file. Okay, so we're going to work on that just to make things very, very easy and very straightforward. I want to extract the invoice date, maximize it here, the invoice date and the let's say I'm going to extract the the invoice number and the invoice date. Two data points I'm going to extract from this document. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. We'll go to our Microsoft Edge, and I'll go ahead and click on extract custom information. Okay, I'll click on this, and this will give me the details of the sample. I just scroll down. It's basically a sample template which gives me an option how I'm going to, what's it going to be doing and what information it's going to extract from scanned documents. So I'll create custom model, and this will lead me to the model which I will use to be able to extract the data from a scanned document, or sorry, from a PDF document into an Excel document. So this will load up the PowerAutomate AI model for extracting data from PDF files and copying it into another file. Okay, sometimes it takes a few minutes to load. Okay, so here I'm going to be choosing structured document. So go ahead and click on structured document. And here, this is where you can name your model. So I'm just going to name it something like invoice processing. Okay, rename invoice processing. Okay, that is now going to be renamed to what my model is going to be. And then I'm going to use structured documents. Structured document means it contains structured data, which means it's self-sufficient, self-intuitive, which means the data in the document is clear and concise and can be easily understood. Then I go down here and click on the blue button where it says next. Okay, then I'm going to add the information which I want to extract from my document. So I'm going to click add, and I'm going to choose a number field because I want to extract a number from a document, from a PDF document. I click next, and I'm going to enter the name of the number field which I'm going to. So I'm going to put invoice number. Okay, and the format is, I'm just going to use a comma because it's going to be a whole number, and I'll click done. Okay, then I'm going to add another data field, which is which is going to be a date field, which is, we said we're going to extract the invoice number and the invoice date. So I'll click on date field, I'll click next, and then I'll put invoice date, and I want to make sure that I match the invoice date format into the format that I'm going to choose. So in this case here, the invoice date is actually, the date format is December 6, 2021, so it's month, date, and year, or month, day, and year, so I want to match that. So I'm going to choose month, day, and year, and then I'll click done. Okay, now I've selected the two data points which I want to extract, and I click next. Now I want to add a collection. The collection is basically the document samples which I want to upload to allow the AI engine of PowerAutomate to learn from. So let me just explain this point here. Collection is samples of documents, in this case PDF files, which I will upload to the PowerAutomate AI engine so it can learn from them. Okay, so let me just go ahead and upload it here. So this is the collection. I'll close one, and I'll click select documents, add documents, go down here, click add documents. Now I'm going to set the data source. Maybe I have it in SharePoint, maybe in Azure Blob Storage, whichever, but I have it on my device, so I'm just going to upload it here. And I'm going to go into my documents here, and I'm going to upload it. So I've got, I need to upload a minimum of 5 documents for it to be able to learn, right? You have to have a minimum of 5. So I'm going to upload here the 5 documents. And now it's going to be scanning the documents. And then I'm going to click on upload. Once I click upload, it's going to automatically store them in the Power Automate AI engine. And now the next step I'm going to do is start selecting the data points for each document. Okay. So now I have one collection of documents. We have 5 documents. I click next. And now what I'm going to do for every single document, I'm going to choose a point which I selected in the beginning. So I've chosen 2 data points, the invoice number and the invoice date. So in this case, I have to highlight and mark each data point, which will allow Power Automate to be able to learn from this data point. So the first data point which I mentioned was the invoice number and the invoice date, right? So the data, let me just mention this here. Data points, invoice number, the invoice date. So now let me just choose. So I'm going to choose the invoice number, which is right here. Let me try to increase the visibility so you guys can see here. So this is the invoice number. You can see it here. So I will choose this and I will highlight the data point, which is the invoice number. Okay. Then I will choose the invoice date. So again, I'm going to select the invoice date here and I will choose invoice date. Now, when you get this blue mark on the document, it means this document is complete now. If I've chosen more than 2 data points, then I have to make sure I select each one. For example, if I included my data point of the balance due, then I have to highlight that as well, and then choose the balance due, or maybe the amount due. This will complete now for one document. Now, very important point, I have to do this for every single document. So I've got 5 documents. So now I will go ahead and do it for the next document, and it's going to load the next document, and then I have to choose the exact same thing again. So let me increase the resolution. So I will choose the invoice number, and I will choose the invoice number, and then I'm going to choose the invoice date. That's the invoice date, and so on. Now that's complete. So I'm just going to fast forward to all 3 documents, and I'll pause it right here. I'll unpause it when I finish doing it for those 3 documents. Okay, so now I've done it for all 5 documents, and make sure that you see the blue check mark on every single document. This will confirm that you have completed the highlighting of the data points for all the documents. Now and you should be able to see this blue button which says next here. Click on that. This will take you to the next step. Okay, now this will confirm what you have added, the document processing, the name of your model, structured and semi-structured documents, the document sources from my device, a total of 5 documents, which I uploaded for allowing the model to be able to learn from, the AI engine to be able to learn from, and I have one collection which consists of 5 different documents. Okay, the data points, which is the information I want to extract, or I want the RPA engine to extract from the PDF files, is invoice number and invoice date, and I provided 5 examples from each single document which I uploaded, total of 5 documents in my collection. I have 5 invoice numbers and 5 invoice dates highlighted. Now I will go to the bottom and click train, and this will allow the model to start training and learning from the document collections which I have uploaded, right? So what it's doing right now, the AI engine is learning by assessing the data point for the invoice date and the invoice number. It's analyzing and learning it from every single document to be able to detect and be able to learn that any future invoice document I upload, it will automatically recognize the data points of the invoice date and the invoice number and be able to extract it and place it into an Excel file. Okay, now I'll go to models. So now I've got this one, invoice processing, and now it's still training, right? It's going to take a few minutes for it to complete, so I'm going to pause right here, and I'll come back when it's finished, okay? Okay, guys, so now that the model finished training, so now I want to be able to test it, right? So let me go ahead and open it. Okay, now I've opened the model. Now I want to be able to test to make sure it's able to recognize the data which I have trained it on, right? So I'll do a quick test. You click on it, you open it, it says the name of the model, invoice processing, you click on quick test, and then I want to upload a document sample of an invoice that I've created, and I want it to make sure it's able to recognize the data, which is the invoice date and the invoice number. So I'll upload. I have a sample document here, which is invoice number 6, and I've uploaded it. It has a similar structure as the other invoices, right? Similar. So now it's analyzing, and now it was able to detect it. See, for example, let's increase the visibility here. You can see that it detected. So let's see, I point out the invoice number 6, which means it was able to scan the number, and the confidence score is how confident it is that it matches the model that it was trained on. And 99%, which is very confident. Okay, that's the invoice date, same thing. The invoice score is 99%, which means it's almost very accurate. The more keep in mind that the more data you upload in the collection for it to be able to learn from, the more it will be able to learn and be accurate in its future selections of the documents which you submit. Okay, so means it's not 9. Okay, so let me do another quick test. So I'm going to submit another document which I have here. Let me open it here, and it's in my documents. It's an invoice number 7. So this is another invoice. Similar, but what I did was I changed the location of the invoice number and the invoice date, right? So what I can do here actually is, let me just open another document. I'm going to be able to go here and go to documents and invoice number. So this is the invoice number document. It's going to open it here. Let me see it here, just one second. Okay, so this is another document, invoice number. So let me just put the date. This is the date here, and I want to add another, maybe even change it here, right? And I'll go ahead and put, maybe I'll change the formatting here. I'll put the invoice number. I'll put some gaps between the invoice number and the actual invoice, which makes it different from the previous sample document which I uploaded in the collection which it learned from. So I'm going to save this as invoice 8. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to save it as a PDF file because that was what I wanted to do. This is the PDF file, invoice number 8. And I'll save it in downloads, and bam, now it's saved. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my model now, and I will go ahead and upload invoice number 8, which was number here, the PDF file, and I'll upload it. And now it's going to analyze to see how it can, to make sure it can detect the invoice number and the invoice date. So it actually did. Let me zoom in to see what it did. Here's the invoice number, see the confidence score, number 6, and here's the invoice date. Okay, so even though there were gaps in the document, so this, for example, if you have 10 documents and some of the invoice documents or any other document in the PDF file, the formatting is messed up, it's not the same, they're not consistent. As long as you upload a sample of that document and you highlight it in the training of the model, it will be able to recognize it in the future. The more you upload sample documents, the more accurate it becomes in learning how to predict what will the data points be. Okay, so now I have closed. So now I have highlighted the two numbers. Now I can click publish. Once you hit publish, it will publish it into your table to make sure that it is active, that you can use it for workflow extraction. Okay, so this video talked about how you were able to highlight the data points. In the next video, I'll talk about how to extract, to use the model and extract it and copy information into an Excel file. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, please hit the subscribe and like button. If you have any questions and comments, please leave them down in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. Okay guys, thank you very much. I'll see you guys in the next video.